Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast, baseball family. For those of you new to the show, we are here to raise money for the nonprofit organization Called Up, whose mission is to give disadvantaged young ball players the equipment they need to play the game we all love. We also want to unite communities by improving or rebuilding baseball facilities in areas suffering economic or environmental hardship. At this time, you can support by purchasing t-shirts and other baseball-related apparel and accessories from 9plusus.com. 10% of all these sales go to the cause. Again, that's 9plusus.com. The number 9, plusus.com. 9plusus.com. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Baseball Together podcast, brought to you by 9plusus. Welcome back, baseball family. Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast. Today, I am joined by our man, Brig.
What is up, baseball family? I am super excited to be back.
Brig is back. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
So
I'm
good.
It's been 2 long weeks, and we've spent a lot of time just catching up. In fact, I think it took us almost an hour and a half to actually get to the podcast tonight.
It did.
But anyways, glad to have you back, Brig.
Thanks,
man. Let's just go ahead and go through some current events, get you caught up on the news. And in fact, today we're only going to be doing current events because with the season ending soon, in about a week, there is so much to go through. Typically, we try to choose only 3 for time, but today we couldn't narrow it down, so we're just going to do current events today, and we'll have an awesome topic for you next week. So, here we go.
It's better that way. The headliner episode. Yeah.
Yes, I agree, especially with the end of the season. But anyways, let's get started with the first one. Here we go.
Okay.
We have Acuna. Ronald Acuna Jr., youngest player to ever hit 40 home runs and get 30 stolen bases ever. He is only 21 years old. That is freaking fantastic.
It's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love it.
And he's at 37 stolen bases as of right now. It's Friday evening. It's 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. And
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have dated us like that, but I did.
Timestamp.
Anyway, the point is we have some time for him to knock out those last few stolen bases. And at that point, I think he would absolutely be, this is the youngest player ever to potentially reach 40-40. That's crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, the Braves clinched the NL East tonight. So if I were him, every time I got on base, I'd be trying to steal.
Yes.
What do you have to lose at this point? You got to get that 40-40. Do it, man.
Need 3, man. Yes.
Yeah, do it. I hope he gets it. That'd be exciting.
I do too. So the question really comes down to, is this ever going to fall? Is there somebody else that can do this? If so, who? And, or is it even possible?
So when I think of this, I think it's going to I think it has a good chance of standing for a long time because it has to be somebody who's young in the minor leagues who's working their way up.
Yes.
The only guy that comes to mind for me is Julio Rodriguez for the Mariners.
Okay.
He is currently he's 18 years old. He's going to be 19 the end of December. But he started the year in rookie ball, I believe, if I remember right. But either way, he ended in advanced A this year because he was just too good.
Wow.
Way too good. The dude's fantastic. He's got power for days. I think I remember hearing recently that his exit velos are averaging around 100 miles an hour because he just squares everything up. He just hits the ball hard. He's an outfielder for the Mariners. He's going to be coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him actually next season, at the end of the season.
On the 40-man.
Yeah, on the 40-man roster, getting called up in September, depending on how the Mariners do. I mean, if they're contending, actually, you know what? Either way, because he's just that good. He saw a little bit of time this last spring training with the big club, even as a young guy, and he still hit big league pitching. I mean, granted it was spring training, but still,
that's crazy.
The fact that he could is insane.
Yeah.
The only thing that I worry about is he's an outfielder, so he's going to have some speed. But I was looking at his scouting report, and he is rated 45 with speed. That's his lowest rating, which still isn't bad. I'm sure he could steal some bases, but he's 55 in everything else: power, arm,
Wow,
fielding, everything else. So he's the real deal.
that's amazing.
But when I think of anybody being able to compete with this and beat Acuna's record, he's the only guy. I just don't know if he has the capacity to steal 40 bases or even 30 bases, just because I don't know how aggressive he is on the base pass. I don't know how much of his thing that is. I just know that he has great power. He's awesome defensively. He has a great arm. I just don't know about his ability to steal bases. That's the only thing that gives me pause with him.
Well, and he's got to come up in the system rapidly as Acuna did, and that's what's crazy because here's what's happening in the minor league system is they're working on field stuff, but they're working on off field stuff too. So these guys are being judged based on their character. They're being judged based on their ability to handle emotional decision making. They're and the list goes on, but it's not just on the field performance. This is character building. This is culture building, and there's so much more that goes into it. So for a guy to accelerate as quickly as it would need to be to catch Acuna and hit and go 40-30 or even 40-40 before he's 21 years old, nuts. Be nuts.
So I saw a projection just the other day that said that he'll probably be on the roster for the 2021 season.
Or is this your guy in Seattle?
Yeah, this is Julio Rodriguez. He'll likely be on the opening day roster 2021. So he'll be 20 years old then, because his birthday is the very end of the year. It's December 29th. I looked it up a little bit ago.
That's my brother's birthday.
Hey, well, happy birthday to both of them on the 29th of December.
We'll get there.
So he would be 20 for the entire season.
Whoa.
And granted, he'd have to do it as a rookie, which I don't see happening.
Yeah.
But he'd still be a young 21 the next year.
That's true.
So I don't know when Acuna turned 21 this year, or if he's turning 22 later this year, but he would be a young 21 the entire season.
Interesting. So, well,
if that makes any sense at all, young
21. It does. At any rate, congratulations to Acuna. We hope he gets those 3 stolen bases in the next few days.
I would love it if he got those 3 stolen bases.
Yeah, we only have like 8 days left in the season, and so congratulations to him. Now, let's move on to the Yankees, okay? My favorite topic. We got the Yankees. They have gone this is their second straight season with 100 wins, and the reason that is significant, Brad, is that Aaron Boone became the first manager in MLB history to take his team to 200 wins in the first 2 seasons.
And I just want to give him one of these. Because I've said before, I'm a big Aaron Boone fan. I liked him a lot. I've always liked him. I just kind of like the Boone family. Brett Boone was awesome with the Mariners. I was so happy for Aaron Boone that he got that job with the Yankees. And this is awesome. It's fantastic. He's obviously done a great job with what he's had this year.
Oh, geez.
And I think it's amazing.
I mean, talk about the job, right? The guy.
Yeah.
We've had 30. I say we lovingly. That's like my favorite thing to say. Yeah, the royal we. We have had 30 guys on the injured list this season. 30 instances of IL time, which is bonkers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially you think it's only a active 25-man roster.
I know, man.
Everybody's been hurt and then some.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So part of the win for this has to go to Cashman in the front office. The general manager is in charge of building the farm system. He's in charge of trades, and he's in charge of depth. And that's one of the things that Cashman does really well is pad the depth. So these guys, on the one hand, are being brought in and groomed properly. So you got to give it to Cashman. He's running the farm system like a well-oiled machine. He's got the depth through trades and purchases and picks and everything like that, draft picks. But the farm system is working incredibly well. So there's that. But then Aaron Boone has had to take these guys from AAA and make them into a working team.
Yes. Yeah, and And I don't feel like the managers get enough credit for that, because there's a whole lot. I've talked about it before, that there's this thing going on in Major League Baseball right now where the managers are kind of marginalized, right? Where it's like, oh, the GM puts together the lineup every day because he uses the analytics based on the pitching matchups, like all that, whatever.
Yeah.
But the manager's with these guys every day. He's the one who's setting the standard in the clubhouse, working with everybody, and really getting everybody to buy into what's happening. It's not. I don't feel like it's the GM who's doing that. So Aaron Boone has done an amazing job.
100% agree. I totally agree with you.
But on the other hand, though, with Cashman, I do think that he's done a good job getting everybody to buy in top to bottom.
Yeah.
Right. When I was with the Ormels a couple years ago, I had the cushy job sitting in the air-conditioned press box watching the game, getting fat off of hot dogs and chicken strips all season. But
that's a life.
You have no idea. It was awesome. But one of the other really cool things about that job was that as scouts would come through and other like league officials and whatever, as they'd come through, they'd come sit and talk to us because we had the AC. It's 100 degrees outside, and we have literally the coolest spot in the ballpark. One of the guys who came and hung out with us was an A's scout. His name was Jermaine Clark, and I got to sit and talk with him for like an hour and a half, and he had some awesome stories. Just told some great things about life in the minor leagues, life at the big league level, everything. But one of the things he told me was that after one of his final seasons. After spring training in one of his final seasons, he said that Billy Beane, because he's with the A's at the time, Billy Beane was making roster cuts, and he told him, you know what, if I could have 26 guys at the big league level, you would be my 26th guy for sure. He's like, but I can't, so we got to send you down to AAA. But as soon as there's a spot for you, you will be in the big league clubhouse. You'll be on the big league roster. And he told me, he's like, I thought Billy was just sitting there feeding me lines, and he's like, I told him, he's like, Billy, you're so full of it. He's like, I don't believe you. But he said that he was good to his word. And anytime there was a roster spot available, he was up with the A's. He's like, there were guys who were better than me. But because he was a utility player, he's like, but because I was a utility player and was available, I got to come up. Came up every time there was a spot available. He's like, so I spent a lot of time in the big league dugout because of that. And I wonder if Cashman has developed this rapport with these guys in AAA saying, hey, if you grind this out, if you stick with it, there is going to be a spot for you. Especially this year where guys can't seem to stay healthy. You're going to see big league time. You're going to get in the big league clubhouse. In fact, you're probably going to get on the field because we're going to need you.
Yeah.
That if he's developed that relationship and that rapport with those guys and everybody's buying in top to bottom, I could see that's part of what's going on here, is that these guys aren't burnt out in AAA saying, I'm never going to make it because the big club's so good. It's, no, I'm going to get a chance. Whether it's now or it's September, I'm going to get a chance.
Yeah.
So I think that can go a long ways.
Yeah, and even the veteran players, Brett Gardner, Austin Romine, these guys have stepped up and have really made it happen. And before we get into their postseason stuff and when we talk about the Astros, it's not all sunshine and rainbows in New York right now.
Right.
Yep. Pitching's a problem, and never more so than now. Domingo Germán was just recently brought up on charges of domestic violence, and he's out for the rest of the season, to include the postseason. He won't pitch again in 2019. Right. So the report that I saw, which I think was from The Athletic, stated that he was accused of slapping his girlfriend, presumably in the face. We don't know, but slapping his girlfriend for stating that she thought, anyway, the Astros had a better chance of winning the World Series than the Yankees did. And, the implication that the Astros were better than the Yankees and that they would face each other in the playoffs. And if so, the Yankees would lose. And apparently, and there was more to it than that. Obviously, we don't know the whole story. You can't get everything from a tweet or whatever. But even though we all want to, right? The point is,
subcontext. What does it say?
the point The point is, even though we don't know the whole story, if that is a nugget of truth, I mean, that's way out of line, right? Physical
Oh yeah.
violence. We don't condone physical violence to solve problems. It's not the way to go. It's not a Rambo movie, and it's not how it goes. So, but he's done what he's done here is he's hurt the team, and I'm sure he thought it was in defense of the team, but it's not. It's actually now he has hurt the team. We got to find a way in New York to fill that slot, and they got to find a way to beat the Astros with one fewer pitcher.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, and let's be honest, it probably wasn't going to happen in the first place, and now it definitely isn't going to happen.
I don't know, man. I'm unwilling to admit defeat, but it begs the question. I mean, can the Astros even be stopped?
I don't think they can, and I hate to say it. It hurts my soul to say it. I don't think they can be stopped because Justin Verlander is pitching out of his mind. Garrett Cole is out of this world.
Dude.
And apparently it's rubbing off on Zach Greinke, whatever Michael Secret stuff it is, whatever they're drinking.
Yeah.
Pre-game during their bullpen sessions, it's rubbing off because Greinke can't be stopped either.
Yeah.
If I were the Astros, I'd be like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's go 3-man rotation, and we'll go. How about this? We'll go Verlander, Cole, Greinke, sweep the first series, sweep the ALDS.
Yeah.
And then we'll get a few days off going into the ALCS, and we'll go Verlander, Cole, Greinke once again. And, if Verlander needs an extra day, let's just throw the bullpen. Just maybe don't worry about that game. We'll be fine. And then Verlander will come and win Game 5, and we'll go on the World Series, have a few days rest. And then we'll go Verlander, Cole, Greinke. And if we need to throw the bullpen again, but Verlander, he's a tough guy. He can go short days rest in the World Series. He'll do it. He'll be fine. Then we'll sweep the World Series, and everything will be fine.
Yeah. And you know
and
what?
They'll strike out every single batter along the way.
Yeah, it would.
And win 10-0.
Oh, seriously. And it could happen this way. That's the sad part. It is possible. All the poor people in Los Angeles, all those LA fans, they're just they probably have some level of PTSD or something.
I really do from that one a couple of years ago. Oh,
yeah. And then last season, and then now again, it's just I hope the Braves are able to beat the Dodgers. I just don't know if it's possible, but I don't. What I also don't know is possible is if the Astros lose ever again.
For
season.
Years to come. Next year they're going to go 162-0.
Oh my gosh. With a 3-man
what they're
going to
do is they're going to go 90-0, and then they've clinched the division. They don't pitch any of their starters the rest of the season, and they'll still have it clinched by the time the season comes around. They'll still have the top seed. No, they're just it's out of this world. It blows my mind. And the thing is that the Dodgers are even better than they were 2 years ago.
Yeah, they are better.
World Series the first time, it's like, yeah, this is the year we're so much better. And then you come up against this behemoth juggernaut in the Astros. You're like, of course they're better than they were 2 years ago, because for some reason, teams in this league are making deals with them to make them get better. I don't understand it.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I said it on the trade deadline that teams won't work a deal with the Yankees because they're the Yankees, but then they'll go, "Oh, Houston, you want to build a dynasty? Here you go.
Yeah, it's rotten.
Have right at it."
So, like I said a couple of episodes ago, if the Yankees don't make it to the World Series, just make an appearance in 2019, then it will be the first decade in franchise history that they've not made a single appearance in the World Series.
Yeah, and
it's possible.
Yeah, it's looking like a real thing right now, because 162 games is a lot. And then you've got to go through however many, the last you got to go through October and stay healthy in the postseason. It is a war of attrition. Like, truly. And the Yankees, it seems like they might just run out of gas at the end there, like if it catches up to them, that it's a real possibility that everything could finally just catch it, and they just can't get over that final hump. But I mean, I'd like to see it. They've got to make the World Series sometime this decade. And if
anybody's going to take down the Astros, I'm 100% okay with it. Whether it's the Yankees, the Twins, or the A's.
Oh my gosh! You
You know,
stop it
I'm
right
fine
now!
with it.
Don't
The A's
you
aren't going to
dare!
beat the Astros, please.
Well, they'd have to beat the Yankees first, and I don't want to talk about playing in Oakland ever again. All right, let's move on. Okay, really quick, Garrett Cole. Before we move on from the Astros, Garrett Cole, as of this season, first American League right-handed pitcher to reach 300 strikeouts in a single season since 1999 with Pedro Martinez. It's his
And
first.
for everyone who,
Go ahead.
sorry, just real quick, and for everyone who's like me, that was 20 years ago. Because sometimes I think that was like 10 years ago, maybe 5. Yeah. No, that was 20 years ago. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy.
And you know what? I'm just sitting here thinking, yes, somebody take down Pedro. And we'll talk about that in another episode. But anyway, the point is, congratulations to Garrett Cole. I think it's super exciting. This is his first time having 300 Ks in a single season. And Justin Verlander, for the sake of reference, is at 283. So, I mean, it's possible that Verlander catches back up and has another 300K season just like him. But, I don't know. But Garrett Cole did it first, and that's amazing.
It is amazing. And, I have a buddy who's a Pirates fan, Garrett. And when they traded away Garrett Cole, he was so distraught. He's just like, and they had traded away McCutchen at the same time, so it was basically just, you could see the tear down.
Yeah.
But when Garrett Cole left, he was just like, "Gah, who should I cheer for? Because I can't cheer for the Pirates anymore."
If you're curious still, listen to the previous episode of the Baseball Together podcast.
Yes.
It would help you pick a team.
I got to give him credit because he's the one who originally gave me the idea of calling it team shopping. So. Thanks, Garrett.
Excellent. Yeah, man.
Anyway.
Well, let's take a quick break, and then we will jump back into more headlines and current events.
Hey, babe, I'm headed to concessions. Do you want me to grab you something?
Yeah, anything, whatever you're getting.
Okay, I saw a burger. I'll probably grab that.
No, that doesn't sound good.
Okay, I think there's barbecue, probably some nachos.
I don't think I want either of those either. But just get me anything.
What do you want?
I saw a hot dog earlier.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, no.
Couples may quarrel, but baseball is for lovers. Shop the Lovers Collection at 9plusus.com. Welcome back, baseball family. Getting back into the headlines for this week, let's talk about Yaz.
Yaz.
The duo.
Yes. Yaz and Yaz 2.0.
So, right. So, Carl Yastrzemski 2.2, 3.0? I don't know.
Anywho.
Carl Yastrzemski and his grandson shared this wonderful moment at Fenway this week, and it was just magical. Yaz threw out the first pitch to his grandson, who plays for the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
And it was, this is what baseball is about. It's about generations coming together, and it's about sharing, and it's about unification, and that's everything we've built our whole platform around. And so this moment really signifies, everything that we're all about.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that is baseball together, right? Obviously that's what their family was about, because the big league skipped a generation, but it doesn't mean for lack of effort.
No, of course not.
That baseball was, huge in their family, and I think it's awesome. I think it's so cool that he was able to catch the first pitch thrown out by his grandfather, who happened to be a Boston Red Sox legend.
Oh, the guy's a god.
Like, how cool is that? I heard Yastrzemski the first time. I was like, oh, I wonder if, and looked real quick. Oh, yep. Carl Yastrzemski's grandson. Because anybody who is like a longtime Red Sox fan, that's who it comes back to is Yaz.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like you've got Carlton Fisk, right, with waving the ball fair and everything.
Yeah.
And you've got Bill Buckner, but it's always like, oh, Yaz.
Yaz. And then
You know.
Manny, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're right. Before it was Yaz, or before it was Manny, it was Yaz.
Yep. Yaz was the man.
He was
But
the
I did hear
man.
something funny about this week.
Okay.
So somebody, I think it was ESPN, you know, they're really reaching for a stat here. I thought it was funny. They said he is the first player with the last name Yastrzemski to play left field since his grandfather. Because it's such a common last name.
Oh, yeah.
Which, yeah, it's cool, but I think you would know if he had any cousins or anything like that. You know?
Okay, so Joe Madden being fired is a conversation everybody's having and nobody wants to have, unless you're a Phillies fan.
Or Quinn. Last week
or
on the
Quinn.
episode. Because
Yeah,
he wants Joe Madden to be hired by the Angels.
And they could rehire him. I could see that happening.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
I wouldn't either,
Because
but I can see him in Philly.
Talk about baseball family.
Yeah.
That's the Angels, man. They're all about that. That's the reason Albert Pujols signed there, because they said, we know you're past your prime, but let's focus on your legacy. And that's what got him to sign with the Angels. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run and it happened, because in the Cubs way, he talks about how his dad who was a big Angels fan?
Yep, it was his dad, and he took his dad's Angels cap to the dugout every day for a period of time.
Yeah. During that World Series run, he had the hat in the dugout every single game.
Was he the bench coach or the hitting coach or something like that?
He was the bench coach at the time.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do think that is a real thing, that if they decide they're done with Brad Ausmus after a season where he didn't really do a whole lot of improvement.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yep.
Talk about what happened in Boston. Holy crap, they're cleaning house.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't get it.
I mean, it seems like they actually made a pretty good move getting not bringing back Keuchel after that run.
Yeah, but
because he hasn't been fantastic this season. I just watched a game the other night where they lost because he blew a save.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. And you've got two MVP candidates in Bogarts and Devers.
Yeah.
I think what it was for them this season was they just had some bad stretches, because they're above 500, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they're that bad of a team, and they play in arguably the toughest division in the American League.
Yeah, agreed wholeheartedly there.
Yeah, because they've won 80 games. This is Friday night. They have 80 wins.
Yeah.
That's not a bad season.
No. And in any other year, under almost any other circumstance, that would be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I
understand. That would be at least wild card successful.
Yeah, and I understand, it's a letdown from the World Series last year. Yeah, you're not going to win it every year, though. Especially back-to-back.
Right.
They gave Theo Epstein the opportunity to build a team, and they won in 2004. Then they kind of reloaded, and they won in 2007. Like, I don't know why they're not giving Dombrowski the leash to win in 2021.
I don't get it.
I do not understand.
And so here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to lose Mookie Betts.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I've seen that he's already on the trading block. They're listening to offers, and I think as soon as they can make that deal, they're going to.
Yep, and then the Red Sox will be stuck with David Price and Chris Sale, and it's going to go downhill fast. And I hate to say that, but I think that's what's going to. I've talked to I have a lot of friends and family that are Red Sox fans, and I've talked to them about it, and they all agree. We all feel the same way. It's like this signaled almost the Red Sox have decided. They're like, all right, whatever. They threw in the towel. And I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever.
Yep, I don't know. And I don't know how much they're going to try to tear things down or what they're going to do as far as rebuilding. You know, like you said, they're going to have Price, they're going to have Sale, but you've got to
They're gonna
have
have
guys who can
Devers,
hit Devers and Bogarts
and Bogarts are gonna stay,
and
and maybe
Benintendi.
JD Martinez,
Yeah,
and
I
then
wouldn't be surprised though if they traded him to the first team who came knocking.
totally, and then but you're right, Benintendi, he's available. I think isn't he available this season?
He's played in about 130 games. He's been around. He
Well,
hasn't
yeah.
been the phenom that he was last year.
Right,
But
that's
I
true.
mean, he's a good everyday player. He's a very good everyday player, above
I
average.
I think their farm system is at the bottom of the pack right now. I think it's at the lowest in MLB.
Yeah, because they kind of mortgaged everything to win last year.
Yes.
So I don't understand why you feel like you can do that and then come back the next year and say, "Oh, but we're gonna rebuild." What are you gonna rebuild with? You don't have any assets to trade other than Mookie Betts.
Yeah. So, what are they going to tank?
You can't. I don't think they can tank. I don't think that fan base would stand for it.
I don't think so either. So then, what do? Because you're signaling that you're going to gut the ship a little bit. It's just all confusing. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're gonna do. I mean, I wonder if they're thinking they're gonna get back a haul for Betts that they can fill some holes. But
Which is legitimate. That's possible.
I don't know if they're gonna get any big league players for Betts though. They might
No.
just get a haul of prospects and then.
Yes.
But then you're back, competing again in 2021, which is what Dombrowski could have just done.
Yeah, agreed wholeheartedly. So
But
it's something in the culture is happening.
Yeah, some team's going to come pick him up, though. He's going to get offered a job here in a couple weeks when somebody's GM gets fired, and he's going to build a champion.
Yes.
At least a contender.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Because he was with the Indians, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and when he was putting that Indians squad together, they were good. Because I'm pretty sure he was with them when they went to the World Series. Or was he with the Red Sox at that point?
I don't remember, honestly, but
I'm going to look real quick.
The dude's a winner. It's crazy that he's not being valued as highly, which leads me to believe there's something else going on. Anyway, we can speculate all day. It doesn't matter. The point is it's confusing and it's shaking things up, which I actually really like. I'm just interested to see what will come of it, is all.
Yeah. Okay, how about this? I've got it right here. So he was not with the Indians. That was somebody else. However, he was with the Florida Marlins, 1991 to 2001.
Yeah.
World Series champion in that time.
Yep.
Was with the Tigers from 2002 to 2015.
Dang.
And the Tigers were contenders when he was with them.
They were.
And then Red Sox 2015 to 2019. He has 2 World Series championships, 3 American League championships, 1 National League championship.
Yeah.
So he knows how to put together winning teams.
Yeah.
I don't know. There must have been. He must have said some word to somebody somewhere, and they decided they didn't want him anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, too bad. But
that sure
somebody's
got
going
off
to
the
get
rails
a steal.
from Yaz, didn't it?
Yeah. Sorry.
I
What a good
apologize.
opportunity for Yaz. All right, so let's lighten it up a little bit again with Mike Fears and his funky facial hair.
It's so weird.
They call this, what do they call this? The monkey tail is what I heard, or something like that.
I've heard the monkey tail, the cat tail. It's basically, for those of you who didn't see it, it's basically he shaved off half his beard, left a goatee, but then he also extended his right sideburn down to the beard, but then he shaved off half the goatee under there. So it literally looks like a monkey tail wrapping.
It comes down
mouth,
from his ear,
from his sideburns,
all the way to his chin,
Yeah.
and then up around his upper lip. And it is the goofiest looking thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't even know what to say other than we have to talk about it.
Shave it off or don't. Shave it off or don't. That's my
Is this
opinion.
okay, though?
No, it's not okay.
But why?
No, that's an insult to every man in the country who has a beard.
What about every man in the country who wants to grow a beard?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've been able to grow a beard basically since I could walk.
Yeah, you're a
So,
lumberjack.
I don't know what it's like to not be able to grow a beard. But,
Oh, man.
But no, I mean, if I were somebody who couldn't grow a beard, I would look at that and say, look what that man has done to his face. I can't even grow a beard. And here's this guy just messing around, looking like a fool. No, I don't. Have a beard or don't. Don't make yourself look like a fool out there. How about this? Deion Sanders said, if you're winning and dressed like a clown, you're stylish. If you're not winning and dressed like a clown, you're a clown.
Oh, whoa. Primetime himself said
Prime
that.
time. Yep.
Dude knows.
Yep, that's
Dude
right.
knows about image and brand
So,
management.
He does. I mean, I don't feel like anybody knows any better than he
Probably
does.
him and Dennis Rodman.
I think Deion did it a little bit better.
I just don't disagree at all. I can't disagree with you. But they both managed it in their own way.
Yes, they did. They sure did. But hey, to this day, we still remember Dennis Rodman, so I guess he was doing something.
And
right.
that's what we remember him for. So
It's true.
maybe that's what Mike is going for here. Maybe he wants to be baseball's Dennis Rodman.
Ah, there you go. I hadn't thought of that.
He sure took a nice step in the right direction, if that's his goal.
He really did.
Oh my gosh. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a Yankees fan.
Anyway.
Everybody should be clean cut. That's enough said for me. Okay, so enough of Mike Fierce. Let's talk about, we've got a couple of key injuries that have happened. We got Anthony Rizzo busted up his foot and continues to play. I don't know how that's possible, but he is.
Yeah, he made that surprise pinch hit appearance, and then he started Friday, I think. I was listening to the game, and it sounded like he started, but he ended up leaving because he re-aggravated that injury, I believe. But I don't know. If I was Joe Madden, I'd be like, well, I guess you've got to have him, right?
Yeah, you do. And you can't have him just be a clubhouse guy if he's not contributing, right? You can't. So he has to be on the playing field in order to lead the team, and he's a leader. That's what he's there for, as much as he's there for anything else. So I don't know, man. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, at first I was kind of like, oh, you got to save him for the postseason. But then I remembered they might not be in the postseason because they might need him just to get there. So it's one of those catch-22s kind of, that if you get there, then he might not be available because he's aggravated that injury to the point where he can't play.
Well, and all the Cubs players are talking about how this talk of Joe Madden being fired if they don't win a World Series this year.
Yeah.
And what kind of pressure is that putting on Rizzo and Baez and Chris Bryant and Kyle Schwarber?
Trade block, yeah.
Right. So it's like, what is going on in Chicago?
What's going on in baseball?
But of course he's going to step in if he can stand.
Yeah.
If he can stand, he'll be there because he's on Joe's team. He is Team Joe Madden.
Oh, for real. I mean, I was watching a game a few nights ago, and it was one where he wasn't playing, but he was pretty much in Joe Madden's back pocket the whole time. I think just trying to learn as much as he could from him throughout the entire game.
Totally. Yes.
He's a guy who will run through a wall for Joe Madden, and you can tell by the way that he plays.
Agreed.
Just by his demeanor around his manager that he loves that guy, and I don't blame him because I do too.
Yeah, I do too.
But
okay.
Go ahead. We've also got Mike Trout, who's out for the rest of the season, which.
Yep.
Mostly, it's an indictment on the Angels, I feel like, because he could probably have just gone out in the beginning of September and just said, okay, I need to have some work done. I'm just going to get it started now so I can rehab, get ready for spring training, right? Because they're not competing for anything.
Sure.
They haven't competed for anything for years. I think it's more of how long is it going to take for the Angels to make a postseason run? They're wasting Mike Trout. They haven't, I feel like, done really anything to get that team there, and they've got the best player in baseball. And I'm not even going to say arguably, he's the best player in baseball.
No, he is the best. The next closest is Javi Baez, who's injured as well.
I know.
With a fracture in his thumb or whatever.
But do you feel like the Angels are wasting Trout? I mean, he's in his prime. He hit more home runs this season than he has any other season.
He's definitely in his prime. The dude's statistics are off the chain, and even his single season statistics are off the chain. The guy, let me just run him down really quick because that'll get into the next thing. He is at 137 hits, 45 home runs. He's batted .291 this year. He's scored 110 runs himself. He's knocked in 104 RBIs, 11 stolen bases. His OPS is 1.083, slugging 645, and his on-base percentage is at 438. So, okay, this is crazy. This is awesome, right? And, he's missing, 15 days of the season or something like that. So it's like, it's not a huge loss. But this is his 27th year. I mean, he's 27 years old is what I mean.
Been in the league for 27 years, and he's only 27 years old. Sounds about right for Mike
Trout. Who is this, Nolan Ryan? Yeah. So he's been in the league for 9 years, and this is his age 27 year. So he's definitely in his prime. But the guy keeps getting better, and that's what's crazy. So I don't know if we can really call it his prime. But so here's what I'm saying. I want to know that even though he's going to lose the last few weeks of the season or whatever, is he still a MVP candidate?
I think he's got it wrapped up. I think he won.
You seriously think he's got it wrapped up?
Because nobody plays like he does, and I don't care what anybody else in the American League is going to do for the next week. They're not going to do what he's done and the way he's done it. I mean, he had that foot injury, and it's probably a stress fracture from carrying the rest of that team on his shoulders. Yeah, nobody does, and nobody in the league does what he does. The reason they have won as many games as they have, and they have won 69 up to this point, is because of him. And I know that baseball is not an individual sport, but it seems like it is in Anaheim.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised if they lost every game for this last week. And then they came to Trout and said, "How you feeling? You ready? You ready to get back to spring training? Because we need to look like we're getting ready to compete next year." But, no,
with Joe Madden behind the wheel.
Yep, with Joe Madden at the helm. I do want to fill in before we move on. I do want to fill in one gap. One other statistic that he's leading the league in is neck size.
Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah,
you got a linebacker out there playing center.
That's right. He's an outside linebacker here for sure. Holy crap! Well, let's dip into the National League a little bit. We got the Braves clinching their second straight NL East title. It's very exciting.
Yeah. It's the first time they've done that since the Bobby Cox era,
right?
By the way.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute.
We all miss Bobby Cox, let's be honest. I know some people hated him, but you loved him.
Oh, I loved Bobby Cox.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is very exciting for the Braves. I'm here in Braves country, and we talk about that a lot, but it's very cool. And I don't know that they have what it takes to beat LA, but you never know. It's baseball. Anything can happen.
It's true. Dan Patrick says they have a shot. They're going to play the game, so they always have a shot.
That's right.
And that's the way it is. It's the way it's going to be this postseason. It's a reason to watch because the baby Braves have a chance. I think they have a legitimate chance. If they get on a streak and get hot, who knows? Who knows what will happen?
I just need I need the Braves to get mean a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want them to get a little bit angry. But not like
having too much fun.
Yeah, not like fanatical, like frantic angry. I need like cold, calculated, like homicidal anger. I need like I think that's the only way they beat LA is if they settle in and they're like, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna mess you up. Something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I don't know. That's what I want to see anyway.
I don't know. They might just be having so much fun winning that they can't get mad.
That's true.
Because winning is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they're having a lot of fun.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and wrap on the last few topics we have here.
Hey, Mike, Catherine, those are some cool T-shirts you guys have.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I got it from 9plusus.com. They have tons of great baseball designs.
Yeah, I wear my 9plusus clothing all the time. My favorite gym tank says diamonds are everyone's best friend. And my go-to shirt for barbecue says a hot dog at the ballpark is better than steak at the Ritz.
Wow, I love that.
Right? Isn't that so cool? Yeah, I also got this snapback from 9 Plus Us. They're really the greatest stuff.
Well, I'm going to have to do some shopping after this batter. What was that site again?
So yeah, it's 9plusus.com. So the number 9, right? 9 players on the field plus us. So 9, the number 9, PLUSUS.com.
Shop 9plusus.com. Apparel for game day and every day.
All right, baseball family, we hope you enjoyed that short break. We sure did. So let's get into the last few things that we have here, the last few items on the docket. First, we have Polar Bear Pete Alonso has hit 50 home runs. Count them, 50. He is a rookie. Brig, who is the other rookie to ever hit 50 home runs?
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, our guy Aaron Judge.
Yep, he hit 52.
I think there's a couple things at play here. Okay. First, home runs are way up across the league this year.
Yeah.
Whether it's juice baseballs or better hitters. I'm inclined to say better hitters because I really feel like it's been headed this way for a while as far as guys just getting better. The launch angle movement, whatever.
Yeah.
Guys hitting more home runs that way. But, some guys are just natural hitters.
That's not wrong.
And Alonso's a big dude. Pete Alonso's a big dude. So when he hits it, it's going to go a long ways, regardless.
I totally agree with that.
But I'm willing to give these guys credit and say they're just fantastic hitters. And Aaron Judge is so big, he can miss a ball to go 400 feet.
True.
But and Alonso's kind of along those lines. But I'm willing to give him credit. And if he passes Judge this week and he hits 53, 54 home runs, more power to him. I do expect him, however, to stick with that and eventually hit 74.
Oh, if there's a God, right? Like,
I know.
and I know there is, but for crying out loud, somebody just please, somebody, anybody, hey, do it and don't do it with steroids, please.
Oh gosh, that'd be awful. He hits his 74th. They go test him, and it turns out he's juicing.
Oh,
but die. I'm going to say this. I'm going to go on record right now and say I believe the next player to hit 74 home runs is in the major leagues right now.
Oh, I agree, and I bet they're doing it without any performance enhancers.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
100% agree.
With all the technology they have available as far as improving their swing, calculating their launch angle, everything, and just such great hitters because you've got to be a good hitter. You've got to be an amazing hitter right now because pitching is incredible right now. You've got to be a good hitter to hit that.
Yes.
And when you hit it, it's going to go a long ways. So I believe that the guy right now the next guy to hit the single season home run record is in the big leagues right now. And we're probably going to see it in the next, I would say, 4 years tops.
Yeah.
It's going to happen soon.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would parrot everything you just said. So, Pete Alonso, Polar Bear Pete, and we love him. This dude's awesome. The home run derby was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
This dude he has 7 games left, and he only needs to hit 3 more bombs to break Aaron Judge's record, which would make me a little bit sad, but also is very exciting. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed. So today, because now it's past midnight my time, they're going to play Cincinnati on the 21st. They're playing the Cincinnati Reds 22nd. Then they have a stand against Miami, which is 4 games long. And then they play one game against the Braves on the 27th for the last game of the regular season.
And, if he hasn't done it by the time that he plays Miami, he's going to do it in that series right there. He could hit 4 home runs in 4 games there very easily.
Yeah.
Would not
and
be
they're at
surprised
home.
in the slightest. Oh, yeah, he's going to get it.
They're at home. So he only needs 2 to tie, 3 to win. That would be crazy to see it go down so soon,
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway.
It's true.
Anyway, So, okay, moving on. We got the Red Sox. We've covered it, but they're no longer in postseason contention. I don't think we actually covered that, but this is true.
They got eliminated tonight as we were sitting here talking.
Yeah.
They officially got eliminated. So
Yay. Okay, moving on. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But no, I do think we talked a lot about that, about kind of the problems at the future with the Red Sox are going to face.
Yeah.
I mean, I could almost just copy and paste that and put it right back in this spot because I feel like that's the exact same conversation we're going to have with this. So I don't know. I think we can just kind of say we covered that and we can move on with it.
We can even just
So let's go on to the Brew Crew.
The Brew Crew, yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it, do you think that they're going to take
that second
wild card spot? Yeah, exactly.
I do. The Cubs don't seem like they can score a run right now. Well, they can score one, but can they score two? And it doesn't seem like it. They're not going to. Let's put it this way: they have a tough schedule. They're pretty much playing the Cardinals just about every day between now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think they have 7 games left, and 4 or 5 of them are against the Cardinals.
Who, the Brewers or the Cubs?
The Cubs.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And then the Brewers have the easiest schedule out of everybody who was in that race.
They do, because they play Pittsburgh today on the 20. Today it's the 22nd now. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 21st now. They're going to play Pittsburgh. And then starting the 24th, they play Cincinnati for 3 games, and then they play Colorado for 2 games.
Yeah.
So I think
they're not. If they lose half those games, I think they'll still be fine because they're up 2 games on the Cubs right now.
Yeah, they are. But do you think the Brew Crew has a chance of catching the Cardinals?
No, I don't. No, they won't catch them in the Central. They're just. I think they're just a touch.
They're only 3 games back.
I think that's enough with this late in the season, especially since the Cardinals are playing the Cubs.
Okay, yeah,
they're gonna win enough games that it's not gonna be an issue. Yeah,
so that puts
I think
currently.
I think if they are 2 games back, they'd have a shot, but 3 games is just enough.
Isn't that amazing? Baseball's amazing.
I know.
I know. It's like, you know what? We're 3 games back. Yeah, well, it's too late.
Yeah.
But
out of the
you never know.
3 is just too many.
The Cubs could get pissy too. You don't know. So,
yeah. But they're going to St. Louis because they were just at home and they couldn't beat the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Now that's really why I don't think that the Cubs are going to be able to do it, and then the Cardinals are going to win, too many games for the Brewers to compete.
So the Cardinals do face the Diamondbacks for 3 games this week, 23, 24, 25 September. They play the D-backs. That could be a bit of a challenge, but I'll bet they take 2 out of 3 there. So
I wouldn't be surprised. And the D-backs were they've been eliminated already, though, haven't they?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Let me look really quick.
I mean, they were eliminated from the division in like August.
I mean, they're playing with LA, yeah. So it's like way.
Yeah.
They're 20 games back, and they're 5.5. Can you believe that? The next closest in the NL West is 20 games back.
That's insane.
Do you know that puts the Rockies at 32 games behind first place? Okay, that what you laugh,
ridiculous.
You laugh, but it's not as bad as Miami, who's 41 games behind Atlanta as of right now.
Yeah, but that was kind of their plan, though. They're tanking, and I feel like we should talk about that soon. Talk about tanking soon in an episode because there's some things that go along with Miami with that, and possibly Boston in the future. I don't know.
Okay, in the American League though, both Detroit and Baltimore are sitting 49.5 games behind first place.
That's outrageous.
In their divisions. 49.5 games. That puts them 41 games out of the wild card in Baltimore, 45.5 games out of the wild card in Detroit in the Central. That's worse. I mean, that's how bad freaking Miami is in their division.
Yeah.
They're so far. This is the weirdest season.
It doesn't make me feel so bad being a Mariners fan.
No.
36
I don't
games
see-
back of the Astros, who are possibly the best team in baseball right now.
Yeah.
But 26 out of the wild card. I mean, that's almost surmountable.
Yeah.
Next August.
Between now
They might
and
catch up 26 games by August. I don't know.
yeah,
Next year.
in August 2025. Yeah, you're right. You didn't specify which year.
No,
You're
I
right.
never said what year. No, not at all.
Oh my gosh.
August.
Anyway.
We already had August. Yeah, August of next year. That's what I'm
Yeah,
shooting for.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Anyway, I think the it's possible that the Brew Crew catches St. Louis in the division. I doubt it, like you, but crazier things have happened.
It's true. It's true. Crazier things have happened. It is absolutely possible. I just don't think it's probable.
Well, and with Yelich and his broken kneecap, that's just seriously a blow. It sucks that one guy makes that big a difference in baseball of all sports, but it really does.
Yeah, and and this is one of the things we talked about last week, Quinn and I did, is that the rest of that team has to be good in order for him to have gotten there. And I like the guy who's going to be filling in his spot, Ben Gamel. I like him a lot. I think he's a very good player, and I think that's why they're. And I thought all along that's why they were going to still get the wild card spot, but I just don't think they're good enough to take over the Cardinals. So
Too bad.
let's go ahead and let's finish with this, Brig. I want you to get in a little bit of this team shopping perspective. Maybe sell us on the Yankees, because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't feel like they can cheer for the Yankees. Quinn said last week that he just physically cannot cheer for the Yankees. Why don't you tell us why this is a team to cheer for?
Look, it's really simple. It's those damn pinstripes. And it's cliched and whatever, but look, people hate the Yankees because they're perceived, and often accurately, as never being the underdog, right?
Right.
But of any year, if any season you wanted to root for an underdog, the Yankees are the team to root for.
101 win underdog.
Listen, they have had 30 plus guys, or 30 plus instances of injuries, right? 30 injuries this season. Then their manager is in his sophomore year.
Yep.
Okay. They got guys who are in AAA carrying them to 100 wins. That's bonkers.
Yeah. Yep.
Austin Romine is managing the entire game sometimes with Gary Sanchez out. And Austin Romine is criticized constantly, but for his inabilities at the plate. But the guy manages a game as well or better than half the catchers in the league. So, and I would argue even more, but that people want to argue with me about Austin Romine all the time. I think he's phenomenal.
It's probably 90% of the league. Let's be honest. It's probably 90%.
The dude is phenomenal. He's old school. He's structured. He's gonna get in a fight with Miggy. And if you give me a guy who's willing to get in a fight with Miguel Cabrera, and I'm gonna pick that guy every day. You know what I mean? So, holy crap, that was amazing last season, by the way. But the point is, if you ever wondered about the Yankees, this is the season to root for them. They're the underdog this year, and even though it doesn't look like it on paper, they really, really are.
And I'm actually inclined to agree with you. I was giving you a hard time about 101 win underdog, which is just so weird to say.
I know,
but
it is.
No, they really are. And I kind of got behind this team last year because they're not your grandpa's Yankees, right?
Yes.
They're not. Yeah, they have that high payroll because Stanton's taking up a ton of it. That's like the one guy on the team they bought, but they traded for him. They actually used assets to get him. And they've got CC Sabathia, but he's a Yankee now. He is a Yankee. He's not a Brewer. He's not an Indian. He is a Yankee now because he's been there forever.
Totally.
But other than that, they've built this team themselves. This is not the team that you grew up hating because they just threw a bunch of money at all the top free agents on the market. because the top free agents on the market don't want to play in New York anymore. They want to play other places because you don't have to be in New York or LA to make money. The way that sports works now is you can be anywhere and make money. You can go play for whoever you want. So the Yankees can't take that approach anymore, and they haven't. They've drafted guys, they've traded for prospects, they developed them, and now they're here. And yeah, they're winning 101 games, but it's not the guys you thought would be winning 101 games this season.
No, it's no names.
Yeah.
It's no names. It's a replacement squad that's doing a lot of the work. And it's very exciting. It's intoxicating, actually. It feels, I don't know, fortuitous is probably the wrong word, but it's too bad the Astros are as good as they are.
Yeah, I know.
Because this is like a Cinderella thing that just deserves to go down in history. It just deserves to be a victorious season, and it may not be, and I'm sorry about that. So anyway, if you wanted to root for the underdog and you ever wanted to root for the Yankees, this is the year.
It is. I would agree with you. It is the year to cheer for the Yankees. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Brig, why don't you go ahead and plug the shop?
Okay, so listen, check it out, right? We got tons of great stuff on the shop. It's shop.9plusus.com. We have the coolest t-shirts in baseball. We've got stuff for every team and all the different team colors, so you can find whoever you want and search for their name. The city name is how we do it. So if you're an Angels fan, you'd search for Anaheim. If you're a Yankees fan, you'd search for the Bronx. If you're a Mets fan, you'd search for Queens. Anyway, that's how we have it broken down in the shop. There's a drop down. You can find everything. But everything we do goes to support charitable causes. And, it's great stuff, high quality shirts. And you can always find your tribe and be a member of the Baseball Together family and our extended baseball family when you wear our stuff. It's great.
That's right. Speaking of Baseball Together, check out our blog, baseballtogether.com. I've started posting the podcast there as well, so you can find podcasts there if you are having a hard time with any other apps. So you can kind of use that as a backup if you'd like. But I'm also posting a little bit of additional information with the podcast on the episode pages, so you can check that out if you'd like. We also have posts about things that we talk about on the podcast. There's going to be a lot of postseason stuff up. I love writing about the postseason. Brig, I'm sure you do too. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff up there for you to read about the postseason here coming up very soon, and then the off season as well, because it's a blast. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
So check out baseballtogether.com, because sometimes you just want to read about baseball. And also with the podcast, speaking of which, if you like what we're doing here, like, subscribe, rate, review, share it with your friends, tell them about us. And baseball family, we will catch you next week.